So today's job is to put this outside socket there. It's quite an easy run actually. It's along here behind the pond and then down along here, and thankfully the only power I can come off is all the way down in the back of that garage, but they had some work done previously. They had a pond pump, and if you look down here, I've got the old supplies. So I look a bit knackered, but they'll be all right. I can use one of these. Focus. Old HO7s or 5s, whatever it is, to connect up, and then it's a bit full in here. Behind all this is where I can connect up to from a fixed fuse spur, or maybe there. I haven't decided yet. Whichever one I can get to. There's always one. Make sure you have the correct glands. They need to be external SWA glands. I want that to be nice and tight. It's no good cutting it too big. I mean, it's not the end of the world if you do, but it's not. I need a lot. About your thumb's enough. That's a bit pissed, that actually. Let's tidy it up. These little bits here, these bits that are a bit longer, don't seem like a lot, but nibble them off. Again, a little bit there's flanged out, nibble it off. It'll get in the way, make your life a lot harder. Now, if you're a student, you probably haven't seen the next bit. Got something called a whisker box, and it is an IP rated box for my connections. So those connections are going to go down by the conservatory and it will join my SWA. So I'll just go in here, nice and easy. Comes with some Wagos, which is nice. And then this is the important bit. We need to earth the steel wire. Someone's going through this garden with a spade or a mattock or something like that, and they hit just the line conductor. We want that steel wire to be earthed. I'm going to put the SWA in now before it's on the wall, because it'll make my life a lot easier. Once this is on the wall and you try and get an SWA gland in, it's a ball ache. So it'll make our life nice and easy. It goes in, and all you have to do is spin it. And then this goes in over the top like that and just slides in. Do that up tight. My earthing adapter, or knuckle duster some people call them, goes on there, and then this brass screw screws down, and that is now connected to the brass of my SWA gland, and the SWA gland is connected to my steel wire. Push the gasket up, nice and pretty. Next, don't want the tools up while it's out. I can make my life easy. I need a fly lead. One of them. Get your crimps. I'm a little low on these at the moment. Up. It's nice and tight. That's on there. And this now joins into here. Screw it down nice and tight. Make sure it's not in the way where the other cable's going to enter. Something like that. Now this fly lead is going to connect up with all the other earths, and I only need to do this at one end because the other arm and the armoured cable's over there, but if I test continuity from there to there, I will have some. Let's do that. This is the other end of my armoured cable. It's 9 metres long. I don't need to earth this other end. I have continuity. It's fine. It doesn't need doing twice. Lastly, the compression gland for the flex that's going to come into it. Like that. It's ready for the flex to come in, get mounted to the wall. The connections go together. Oh no. No, it's not. I've got to get a new one. Look at that. Did I do that? Maybe. Good job I got one in the van. So I didn't film this bit because it was annoying. Box is on. Not all the cables are in. I've only got the SWA in at the moment, and I've got these two. And these two go in through there. But the SWA is going along. Needs a few more cleats in it, I know. But quickly goes behind there. Oh, it's not cleated, it'll be fine. And now to make off the socket and put it there. So this is the cable, this one here, I'm going to be connecting up. However, as you can see, I've got two that go outside, so put line and earth and away you go. And what I'll do is I'll go test outside. But while I'm here, I'll open up this socket. Now this is a 32 amp ring main, so I need to make sure I am not coming off a spur. If this is a spur, I've got a problem. But the way for me to test that is to test the continuity across the lines, the neutrals, and the CPCs. Excellent. So that means I've got a ring and I can bring this cable straight in that box and connect it up to the socket. So that's all connected up. It's live at the other end. I've just done the ZE. Let's go see what we get. ZS, I mean. So it's the next day, and I thought it'd be interesting to do a bit of a price breakdown for students and for customers, so you get a bit of an idea of how it all works. A bit more clean shaven than yesterday. So yeah, you just see I've done an outside socket, and it doesn't look a lot when you take a video in a short format, but I wanted to go through everything. So materials wise, including a 20% markup, and that markup allows for things like time and fuel going to get the materials. It allows for warranty if anything goes wrong. Materials was only £62 on this job, so it wasn't too much. And the labour, about 3 hours, something like that. So some people do it per hour, other people do it so they do half-day blocks, however people want to do it. Me personally, I was at 3 hours at £35 an hour. That includes like all the travel, and the other thing people don't think of is setting up tools, getting tools out of the van, being clean and tidy, all that sort of stuff. So you look at the actual work and you think, oh, it doesn't take that long. You don't see the 15 minutes before when I'm getting my tools out, getting everything prepped. You don't see the 15 minutes after when I'm tidying up after myself, putting all the tools back in the van. time spent speaking to the customer about the work, it all adds up. It's easy to think that a 2-hour job is 2 hours, but when you consider setting up, setting down time, talking to the customer, things like that, you can easily add an hour on most jobs. Insurance, public liability, van, tools, vehicle costs, fuel, maintenance, wear and tear on equipment, wear and tear on my knees as well, it feels like. Being part of a scheme like NAPIT or NIC, and the admin time as well. So when I price a job, it's not instant, it takes time. We have to take that all into account, otherwise we're working for free. So the way I price this is the materials come to £62, including that 20%. About 3 hours of labour, so £105 in labour, but that's not the final price. So we have overheads and things like that that we need to account in for that. So the way I tend to account for my overheads is I do a percentage of the cost of the job, if that's applicable. Now, on larger jobs, that overhead can be extortionate. So the overhead changes depending on the cost of the job, but general standard charge for small jobs, 20% overhead. So 20% of that is around about £30-35, something like that. That's not quite, because I've changed my figures. So that covers my overheads for the day, and it does. It costs about what a lot of people don't realise. It costs about £35 to run a business a day, and then we need to run the business. We need to make money, but the business needs to make money as well. So I then include an extra 10% on top of that for profit. So that profit will go actually into the business. Businesses need to make money. If they don't make money, you're just paying yourself, and then something goes wrong. People don't want to invest in it. You don't look strong on paper. You need to be making profit in order to grow. So again, depending on the size of the job, but the smaller jobs, my standard is 10%. So the final price for this job was actually £230, which might seem like a lot for some people, but you work it out, realistically, you're going to charge half a day. Then you've got the materials on top. It seems pretty reasonable to me. So the actual costs isn't the labour. The labour is actually quite a cheap part of it. It's the materials, tools, and the running of the business on top. That costs money. I also, and it's okay I did this because this is for a friend of mine, so I can rectify it whenever I need to. I had a slight deviation from the regulations. I don't want any actual electricians chiming in and telling me what I did wrong. Only students. Actual electricians know what you will like. You will have spotted it within the first 0.05 seconds and you'll be smashing your head against the keyboard trying to tell everyone. It's not a big one. I can rectify it whenever I need to. And the reason I didn't do it is because the college I teach at ran out of materials. So the students were using my materials for their actual assessments, which is why I didn't do it. It's all at the college. Let me know in the comments if you know what it was.